I could hear her muttering and sighing. But then that ad came on the telly, the one for Old Spice with the waves in it, and the music made her happy again, like it always did. Next I knew, she was sitting in her chair smiling and taking a cup of tea from Dad. We had all kind of relaxed a bit. The film started again, and Dad sighed. I don't think he was enjoying that movie any more than I was. The next ads came on. Nan murmured in her sleep, "Oh, love, were you here all this time?" Dad leapt up, rubbing his hands together. "Right, pee, then tea." He kissed Ma on the way out the door, and she called after him to bring in the Jaffa cakes. We didn't notice him backing into the room until he got to the end of the sofa and grabbed Ma's shoulder. She swatted him in annoyance, thinking he was messing. Then she saw his face, and her expression went all flat and ready for anything. "What's wrong?" she said. "Get Mam out into the front garden, Olive. Just take her out as calm as you can. Don't come back in. I'm going upstairs for Dee." They looked at each other, and my Ma's eyes got enormous. "Dave," she whispered, "is that smoke?" Dom leapt up from where he was lying. He had been drawing his comic book and was still clutching a purple marker. There were purple smudges all over his fingers, and his face was covered in purple fingerprints where he'd had his chin resting in his hand. I began to stand up. Our front room never seemed so small as when the three Finnerty men all stood up together. I wanted to ask, "What's wrong?" As usual, Dom did it for me. "Dad," he said, "is something—" "Listen," said Dad, "just listen. Dom, help take Nan outside. Keep her calm and act like nothing's wrong." He turned to me. "Pat, I'm going upstairs. Once everyone's outside, don't let them come back in this house. Do you hear me? I don't care what happens." I nodded. Dad went into the hall, glanced towards the kitchen, and motioned us to the front door. Ma was waking Nan, a slow process at the best of times. "Come on, Cheryl, love. Get up, me old darling. Up you get now." "Where are we going?" asked Nan, her quavery old voice fuddled with more than just sleep. "Are we late for Mass?" "A little bit, darling. We need to hurry. Up's a daisy now. Up we go." Ma knew. I could tell by the way she herded Nan past Dad and didn't look back down the hall. Dom ran ahead. He already had the hall door open and was standing on the porch, his hand on the porch door latch, when Dad roared, "Stop!" We all froze. Dad held his hand out as if to keep us all from moving. He wasn't a broad man, but he seemed to fill the entire hall right then, a living barrier between us and whatever lay hidden in the kitchen. "Dom," he said, "don't open that door yet. It's very important. Let everyone into the porch first, then shut the hall door behind you, and then open the porch door. Have you got that?" Dom nodded, his brown eyes huge. Ma hustled Nan in beside him, and they all stood crammed together on the porch, staring back at Dad. Nan began querulously looking for her handbag, and Ma hung on to her without speaking, her eyes glued to Dad as if afraid he'd disappear. I could smell the smoke now. I could actually hear the flames. Somewhere behind my Dad, something huge was on fire. Dad pinned me down with the same look he'd just given Dom, and it hit me how serious this all was. Our house was on fire. It was on fire. "Patrick," said Dad, "shut that porch door after everyone's outside. It's very important. I'm going upstairs for your sister, and I don't give a shite what happens while I'm up there. You are not to let your ma or Dom or your Nan back into this house. Do you understand?" My eyes slid past him, and I nearly fell over with shock at the sight of the kitchen door. The cheap wood was glowing, its paint all bubbled up and hissing. Black fingers of smoke were twisting through the gaps of the door jamb, reaching for the ceiling and spreading up the walls. I opened my mouth to yell, but before I could make a sound, Dad had shoved me onto the overcrowded porch and